Iraqi Dinar today, latest news Dinar. Welcome to the daily briefing, where our focus remains anchored in the essential, ground-level realities of the international currency world. We understand that for many who hold assets like the Iraqi Dinar IQD or the Vietnamese Dong VND, the vast majority of attention is dedicated to tracking market values and potential economic shifts. However, a critical and often overlooked element is the actual logistical step that transforms those physical notes into secured, deposited funds, the mandated exchange appointment. In 2025, this process is where strategic preparedness truly matters, serving as the final, necessary bridge between the asset you hold and the liquidity you seek. The true moment of truth for any currency holder is not merely watching the news. It is executing a perfectly organized exchange at an accredited financial center. The landscape of currency transactions has been profoundly modernized, largely leaving behind the days of disorganized walk-ins, endless queues, and staff confusion at the teller window. Modern financial technology has ushered in a digital-first era which, while more streamlined, demands a higher degree of customer preparation and professional conduct. We aim to replace any lingering anxiety about the exchange process with a clear, step-by-step framework of administrative excellence. Understanding and leveraging these technological advancements is fundamental to a successful and time-efficient transaction. Today, licensed exchange centers and major banks operate with precision, heavily relying on sophisticated online scheduling portals and specialized customer support channels. This system is designed to prioritize the security of the customer and the speed of the transaction, moving away from the past when a holder might waste hours visiting multiple physical branches just to gather basic policy information. Your initial task is to master these digital interfaces, ensuring that your valuable time is respected and that the process unfolds with the methodical efficiency of a major financial operation. The opening stage of preparation is dedicated to rigorous research, as the capacity to handle specific foreign currencies is not universal across all financial institutions. It is a widespread but inaccurate assumption that any neighborhood bank can effortlessly process a large volume exchange of non-standard currencies such as the IQD or VND. In reality, specific federal licensing, specialized training, and a dedicated infrastructural capability are absolute prerequisites. You must take the initiative to proactively identify and verify which local institutions are fully authorized and actively equipped to service these particular currencies, filtering out any location that might only deal with common tourist currencies. Your verification process must involve directly consulting the official websites of major accredited banking institutions and licensed exchange providers. You should be specifically navigating to their foreign currency or treasury policy sections to confirm their current operational capabilities. Confirmation requires verifying that they not only actively trade the specific currency you hold, but are also currently dedicating appointment slots for the precise transaction volume you intend to execute in 2025. This vital confirmation replaces mere assumption with factual certainty, safeguarding you from administrative disappointment and wasted time on the day of your exchange. Once potential authorized locations have been identified, the next critical phase involves establishing the specific operational parameters governing those branches. It is common for institutions to establish designated foreign exchange departments or specialized hubs that are entirely separate from standard branch operations, and these entities often maintain unique hours of operation. Furthermore, high-volume transactions, particularly for unique currencies, are almost always governed by a strict set of daily transaction limits mandated by institutional policy. This often means that a substantial total holding cannot be exchanged in a single business day. To effectively gather these essential operational details, a direct telephone call to the branch or the utilization of their dedicated online chat support is the recommended course of action. This proactive communication allows you to confirm the availability of a foreign currency specialist and establish the precise limits that will apply to your transaction. By taking this step, you successfully prevent the significant frustration of arriving at a bank unprepared, only to be informed that the specialist is not available or that your anticipated exchange amount far exceeds the unadvertised daily processing cap. Such preparedness is the hallmark of a well-executed plan, the foundation of any successful hive. Your financial transaction in the contemporary banking ecosystem is comprehensive and accurate documentation. The single most frequent cause of appointment delay or outright failure is a breakdown in preparing the requisite paperwork. In 2025, global compliance standards are exceptionally stringent, fundamentally designed to protect both the financial institution and the client from fraud and various illicit financial activities. Therefore, your document preparation must be meticulous, leaving absolutely no room for error or minor discrepancy. You should prepare to present a minimum of 2 forms of valid government-issued identification that are currently unexpired. This identification commonly includes a national ID card, a driver's license, a passport, or military identification, and it is a non-negotiable requirement that the names printed on these official documents must flawlessly align with the name on your associated bank account. Any perceived inconsistency, regardless of how insignificant it may appear to you, has the potential to trigger a compliance halt, which will invariably result in the immediate rescheduling of your appointment and a restart of the entire administrative review process. Beyond the fundamental proof of identity, a standard regulatory requirement often includes providing current proof of residence. This is particularly crucial if your transaction is being conducted at a main financial center that is not considered your typical local branch. Acceptable documentation generally includes official government correspondence, current lease agreements, or utility bills that are dated within the last 3 to 6 months. This requirement is a direct result of Know Your Customer (KYC) regulations, which are a universal standard across the global banking industry, designed to confirm the identity and permanent address of every client. Presenting these organized documents, securely printed and readily accessible in a dedicated folder, immediately establishes you as a knowledgeable and professional client who fully respects the institution's regulatory obligations. This organized presentation subtly yet powerfully shifts the dynamic of the meeting, fostering trust and streamlining the intake process for the exchange staff. By demonstrating an understanding of and adherence to these compliance standards, you help to expedite your own transaction and position yourself for a smoother overall experience. For individuals preparing to exchange substantial currency volumes, an additional and often mandatory layer of documentation is required concerning the original source of the funds. Anti-money laundering AML protocols are a core banking responsibility, requiring institutions to meticulously verify the clear and legal origin of the assets before the funds can be successfully converted into domestic currency and deposited. This investigative step is not an implication of any wrongdoing, but is a compulsory, standard procedural check for all transactions deemed hive by regulatory bodies. In preparation for this verification, you must be ready to provide a detailed, organized paper trail. This could include documentation such as original purchase receipts for the foreign currency, detailed records of the bank transfers utilized to acquire the notes, or a formally signed declaration letter if the assets were received as a gift or an inheritance. Ensuring this trail of evidence is chronologically arranged and clearly labeled can eliminate hours of back and forth questioning and dramatically accelerate the crucial internal approval process that takes place during your scheduled appointment. With your detailed research successfully completed and all necessary documents meticulously organized, the stage is set for the actual booking of your currency exchange appointment. In the current financial climate of 2025, the client is generally afforded two primary booking options: utilizing a fully digitized online scheduling tool or initiating a direct human-to-human phone reservation. The online portal typically represents the fastest method, as it offers a real-time view of available time slots, facilitates branch selection, and allows for the immediate input of your necessary personal details without the inconvenience of waiting on hold. Should you opt for the digital route, exercise extreme diligence while inputting your information, as accuracy is essential to ensuring your request is correctly routed to the specialized foreign exchange department. Conversely, for transactions that possess a heightened degree of complexity, or if you simply prefer a more personal touch, a direct call to the branch for reservation is often a highly recommended strategy. During this conversation, you must be exceptionally clear, concise, and maintain a professional tone, having both your approximate exchange amount and preferred dates calculated and ready prior to dialing. The direct phone conversation also presents an excellent, organic opportunity to ask very specific, pointed questions regarding the bank's preferred currency intake protocols. By speaking directly with the appointment scheduler, you may also gain access to certain appointment slots that are not publicly visible on the online calendar, or you may be able to successfully request specific logistical accommodations. This includes the possibility of securing a private, dedicated meeting room, an arrangement that significantly enhances both the security and comfort level during a high-value physical currency exchange. A paramount, yet frequently overlooked, aspect of the entire booking process is the absolute necessity of data accuracy when registering your contact details. Whether you are carefully typing your information into a digital form or clearly dictating it to a bank representative over the phone, the correct entry of your dedicated phone number and email address is critically important. These official contact channels are the primary method the bank will use to transmit your final confirmation details, any necessary security codes, or, most importantly, urgent updates regarding an unexpected branch closure or a necessary time adjustment to your scheduled slot. A small error, such as a single typographical mistake in your email address, carries the significant risk of causing you to miss a crucial notification, potentially leading to a failure to appear for your exchange. The simple act of double-checking your contact entry takes mere seconds of your time but serves as a powerful safeguard, maintaining the crucial, uninterrupted integrity of the entire communication pathway between you and the financial institution overseeing your transaction. This small step in verification prevents significant logistical headaches down the line. Before the day of the appointment, you must turn your attention to the physical condition and organization of the foreign currency notes themselves. It is a highly advisable and ultimately strategic maneuver to contact the institution in advance to ascertain their exact presentation preferences for the cash. Standards can differ dramatically from one bank to the next. Some may require the currency to be bound in distinct denominations with the specific total counts clearly labeled on the straps, while other institutions may have a strict policy prohibiting customer-banded stacks, requiring notes to be entirely loose for their dedicated machine counters. Adhering precisely to the bank's specific preparation preference is far more than a simple courtesy. It is a calculated strategic move designed to minimize the duration of your appointment time within the branch. If the teller is forced to manually unband and meticulously reorganize thousands of notes because they were incorrectly packaged, the time required to complete your transaction could easily double. This avoidable delay consumes precious time and adds unnecessary pressure to the procedural workflow of the exchange staff, which directly impacts your overall experience. Furthermore, the physical organization of your currency plays a fundamental role in ensuring the ultimate accuracy of the machine count. If you have taken the necessary step of presorting your notes by their individual denomination, ensuring all similar bills are uniformly facing the same direction, you dramatically simplify the processing task for both the human teller and the counting machines. Crumpled or haphazardly mixed bundles of currency are a major cause of machine jams, which inevitably lead to tedious and time-consuming manual recounts, which benefit no one. By conscientiously treating your physical currency with the utmost care and presenting it in a neat, orderly, and professional manner, you are actively facilitating a smoother and more efficient workflow for the bank's dedicated staff. This thoughtful approach results in a significantly faster overall processing time and guarantees a far more pleasant and less stressful experience for you, the client. Your professionalism in presentation directly contributes to the swift and accurate conversion of your assets. Security must remain an absolutely paramount concern throughout the entire process of transporting and ultimately exchanging physical currency, and this crucial concern extends directly into the environment of the scheduled appointment. When you are booking your time slot, it is highly recommended that you specifically inquire about the availability of a private or secure room where the transaction can be conducted. Recognizing the privacy needs of their high-value clients, many modern financial institutions in 2025 offer secluded spaces away from the main public lobby for significant exchanges. A secure, private setting prevents other banking patrons from inadvertently or intentionally observing your business transaction, and allows you to maintain a singular focus on the verification and counting process without any external distractions. If you are transporting a particularly significant total volume of currency, you may also inquire whether the institution provides security escort services to and from the parking lot, a specialized service that is becoming increasingly common and available for large-scale financial transactions. A vital extension of your physical security is the mandatory practice of discretion in your personal life leading up to the scheduled exchange. It is unequivocally crucial to maintain a low profile regarding your exchange plans, and under no circumstances should you broadcast your intentions or discuss the specific date and time of your appointment in any public forum, including on social media platforms. Your personal safety is deeply intertwined with information security. A simple post can create an unnecessary and avoidable risk exposure. When meticulously planning your travel route to the bank, choose the most direct path possible and diligently avoid making any unnecessary or intermediate stops along the way. Your primary objective should be to minimize the total amount of time you are in physical possession of the currency in an environment that is not secured. By treating the logistical planning of the trip with the same seriousness and focus as the core financial transaction itself, you ensure that you arrive safely at the institution with a clear mind and complete peace of mind. Once your appointment has been successfully booked and confirmed, you will invariably receive a formal confirmation message, typically delivered via text or email. It is absolutely vital that you review this message immediately and with extreme thoroughness, ensuring that the precise date and time flawlessly match your original request. Perhaps the single most important detail to verify is the exact address of the branch location. In densely populated urban areas, it is a surprisingly common error for customers to mistakenly arrive at the wrong bank branch, causing them to miss their critical window at the correct location. Should you detect any inconsistency or discrepancy, no matter how minor it may seem, in the confirmation details, you must contact the financial institution immediately to rectify the issue. Do not make the critical error of waiting until the actual morning of the exchange to question or attempt to resolve a logistical error. Proactive communication to correct the branch address or time slot ensures that your arrival on the day is perfectly aligned with the bank's schedule, preventing an administrative no-show that could otherwise derail your carefully planned transaction. The night before your scheduled exchange represents a crucial and final window for all preparations. This designated time is when you must meticulously gather every physical asset into one secure and dedicated place. Place your organized currency, your government-issued identification documents, your proof of residence, and all source of funds paperwork into a single, secure briefcase or folder. Completing this task the night before successfully prevents the frantic, high-stress morning scramble that so often leads to important items being forgotten at the last moment. In addition to organizing your documents, you should take a focused moment to review your planned travel route to the bank, specifically checking for any current road construction projects or unusual traffic patterns that possess the potential to significantly delay your arrival time. Going to bed with the absolute certainty that every required item is staged and ready allows you to achieve a better night's rest, ensuring you wake up on the day of your appointment with a clear, focused, and composed mindset, ready for a professional interaction. On the day of the physical appointment, the guiding principle is to arrive early, but to manage that arrival time with strategic restraint. The established sweet spot for arrival is generally between 10 and 15 minutes prior to your scheduled time slot. This calculated window provides an adequate cushion to absorb any minor parking or unforeseen traffic issues and allows you ample time to calmly navigate the lobby, complete any necessary security checks, and perform the check-in process without experiencing any feeling of being rushed. A calm, controlled arrival sets the professional tone for the entire meeting. Rushing inevitably creates a sense of stress, and this stress can unfortunately lead to misunderstandings, miscommunications, or even the forgetting of a crucial question you had planned to ask the specialist. By consciously managing your arrival time and presenting yourself in a composed manner, you are projecting an image of control and professionalism that will significantly contribute to a steady and positive interaction with the bank staff. Upon entering the bank, you will most likely be met by a security officer or a dedicated receptionist. At this initial point, state clearly and concisely that you have a formal appointment and provide your full name. It is standard operating procedure that you may be asked to present your identification at this early stage or pass through a basic security screening process. These routine measures are in place for the collective safety of every individual within the building, and cooperation combined with a polite, calm demeanor goes a very long way toward facilitating a swift entry. You will then be efficiently guided to a waiting area or, ideally, directly to the private office of the exchange specialist. The core of your appointment begins once you are seated with the specialist, and this is the moment where your thorough preparation truly yields its returns. You will first submit your entire organized portfolio of documentation for rigorous verification. Once your identity is confirmed to the bank's satisfaction, the physical currency processing will immediately commence. This standard procedure involves a meticulous visual inspection of the notes, followed by a final, verifiable count utilizing high-speed machine counters. For foreign notes like the Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong, the verification process can be quite detailed, as the bank must ensure the authenticity and undamaged condition of every single bill. It is absolutely crucial that you remain patient and composed throughout this counting and verification phase. Do not, under any circumstances, attempt to rush or pressure the staff. Their meticulous and thorough examination of the currency is your ultimate guarantee that the transaction is being handled correctly, legally, and is fully compliant with all global financial regulations. This thoroughness is not a delay tactic, it is the fundamental quality assurance step necessary for a legitimate high-value exchange. During the entire verification and counting process, you must feel fully empowered to ask any and all questions that come to mind. This is a professional business transaction, and you are the valued customer. It is entirely appropriate and expected for you to request a final confirmation of the exact exchange rate being applied, particularly because rates can and often do fluctuate even within the span of a single business day. Furthermore, you should specifically inquire about a granular breakdown of any and all service fees being levied. Being an active, engaged participant in the conversation is the only way to ensure that you have a complete and transparent understanding of exactly how the final figure of the conversion is being calculated. If any element of the transaction does not immediately make logical sense to you, or if the figures appear to differ from your initial research, you must request immediate clarification. A transparent and open dialogue during the process is the single most effective way to prevent any post-transaction regret or later dispute. Once the physical counting and verification of the currency are successfully concluded, the financial institution will generate an official transaction summary or a formal receipt. This document is absolutely critical and must be treated with the utmost importance. It will clearly list the total volume of foreign currency that was received, the exact exchange rate that was applied, the full total of all service fees, and the final payout amount that you are receiving in your domestic currency. You must meticulously review this document for accuracy before affixing your signature to any document. Ensure that all the mathematical calculations align perfectly with your pre-established expectations. This receipt will serve as the one official, legally binding record of the entire exchange transaction. This document is essential for your personal financial record, keeping future audits and any potential future tax reporting obligations you may have. You must not consider this a trivial or discardable slip of paper. It is the legal, auditable record of the entire currency conversion. In 2025, the final payout for large-scale currency exchanges is now almost exclusively handled via an electronic transfer method. It is highly rare and generally discouraged for institutions to physically hand back large quantities of domestic cash due to significant safety and logistical concerns. You will therefore be asked to provide the specific details of your bank account for a direct wire transfer or an immediate direct deposit. This method of payment creates an instant verifiable digital footprint and ensures that your converted funds land securely in your designated account. If you are conducting the exchange at the same banking institution where you currently hold an active account, the transfer of funds is often nearly instantaneous. However, if you are visiting an entirely different institution, they may instead issue a cashier's check or initiate an interbank wire transfer, which can occasionally take a full business day or two to clear and fully settle into your account. Understanding this brief delay and the specific fee structure for different payout methods is crucial for your personal financial planning. Understanding the underlying fee structure is yet another critical variable that will differ significantly from one financial institution to the next. Some banks will implement a flat processing fee that is applied universally to every transaction, while others choose to take a small percentage based on the total volume of currency that is being exchanged. Additionally, there may be a spread, which is the calculated difference between the market interbank rate and the less favorable rate the institution offers you, which functions as a form of non-explicit fee. If you have established a strong relationship as a long-standing customer of the bank or are executing a particularly large volume transaction, there may exist a small margin for negotiating these fees or the applied exchange rate. It is always professionally worthwhile to politely inquire if a potential fee waiver is available or if a slightly more favorable rate can be applied based on the history and status of your account. A simple, polite question about fee reduction can sometimes result in tangible savings on the final transaction total. If your total currency holding significantly exceeds the institution's predetermined daily transaction limit, a common scenario for substantial holders, you will be required to schedule one or more follow-up appointments. The positive news in this situation is that these subsequent appointments are almost always completed far more quickly and smoothly than the initial one. By this stage, your identity has been fully verified, your source of funds documentation has been formally approved, and your client profile is active within their banking system, significantly expediting the process. You will often have the ability to book these necessary follow-up slots before you even leave the branch, allowing you to establish a structured, manageable schedule that enables you to liquidate your total holdings over a structured period of several days or weeks. This phased approach brings organization and control to what would otherwise be a single, overwhelming logistical challenge. This structured plan is the most efficient way to achieve the complete conversion of your assets into usable, deposited funds. Finally, once the entire currency exchange transaction is definitively finalized and approved, it is essential that you immediately utilize all the available digital tools at your disposal. Modern mobile banking applications allow you to instantly monitor the incoming deposit, view the detailed transaction history in real time, and securely store digital copies of your official receipts for future reference. This final digital step flawlessly closes the entire loop on the process, providing you with absolute, complete visibility into the successful conversion of your foreign currency assets. By mastering this complex but manageable appointment process, from the initial research phase to the final digital verification, you are taking active, informed control of your financial journey in 2025.